2022. What a year. If there was ever a time that didn't go to plan, it was this year. But like all times of change and transition, I learned and grew. Let's reflect. The year started with a trip to Seattle, the chance to see old friends from school and meet new friends I'd met online. I'd never been to the Pacific Northwest before, and it felt fresh to start the year in a new place.
So many.
Are you trying to eat pie? I have no pie for you.
I returned to Illinois for my last semester of school. I had 2 more classes left in my degree, but I took a few extra studio classes of things I didn't want to miss before I left university: ceramics and scientific illustration. It was refreshing to try new creative things. I love these classes. In scientific illustration, we got to explore the labs and greenhouses on campus and draw amazing specimens.
These guys are. Nature's so freaking cool.
Yes. That's why I love my job.
I'd never set out for such hyperrealism in my life, and it was gratifying to work in such detail. I also found a new home in the ceramics studio. I hadn't done ceramics since middle school, but the process of working with clay feels like a labor of love, and spending hours in the ceramics studio turned into a form of meditation. Spring break came, and I started in Indianapolis with Jeffrey. We enjoyed spending time together before I flew back east. My best friend from high school and I traveled to New York and got to meet up with more art friends I'd met through the online art community. It was so special to see all their corners of New York City. I don't think I could ever live there, but there is certainly something special about a city that truly never sleeps. It felt good to be around people again.
I can't handle it. What are these?
They're paper clips.
Oh, in the shape of the plane.
That's like my biggest weakness.
You want your carrot again? Yeah.
Every time I've given Milo a kicker toy, he just kind of hugs it and then he's like, "This is fine." Oh my god, look at this table.
So was my mom.
This dog really wants the pizza. Oh my god. It's like, can we go back, please?
Just as spring started to break through the cracks of the cold, my grandfather died suddenly. He was one of the most important people in my life, and losing him is the worst experience I've ever gone through. I still feel the grief. It comes in waves. Certain days are harder than others. For a long time, I've tried to make sense of losing him, but the truth is there is no lesson to learn. I feel grateful to have had him in my life for as long as I did.
They had a bar. They had like a bar.
I don't know, I'm a little bit ingenious, so you gotta take my picture.
Nice, Grandpa.
All right, you guys wanna? Here.
And if I make it tomorrow, do you have to buy me the Baxter? Yeah, so time to turn around.
Despite the grief, spring still came. The flowers bloomed. Life kept moving forward, and while I resisted, I managed to as well. I finished my classes. I graduated. I packed up the life I had built in the Midwest and moved back east.
Is that for the sunset?
Uh-huh.
Where do we just go to?
Culver's?
For what?
Cheeseburgers.
How many times have you had the cheeseburgers?
twice.
Well, not twice.
Once. I've had it once. This is the second time.
Where are we going now?
U-Haul.
Where are we going after that?
Tacos!
Summer began with a rush. I moved myself in a backpack up to the White Mountains of New Hampshire and started out my third summer as hut crew for the Appalachian Mountain Club. My grandpa's the one who introduced me to hiking and who fostered my love for the outdoors, and being a part of this community feels like a gift from him. It was hard to be in places that we loved together by myself for the first time, but there was a bittersweetness to this as I fulfilled a lifelong dream of being a hut master, which was something we had always talked about. Nevertheless, it was truly a joy of a lifetime, leading my crew through a summer of woodland shenanigans. We cooked, we cleaned, we entertained. Being on hut crew is an indescribable experience, and even now I know that I will always look back on these summers as some of the best of my life. The White Mountains have always felt like a home to me, and this community is one that I will never take for granted.
WYF 711, this is Zero Lonesome, trying all huts. Hope to see you by the lake. Zero clear.
Yay! I think a guest was left on the rock.
Thank you so much. If nothing else, thank you so much for this wonderful season. It truly has been incredible, and thank you for all of your work. And with that, Zero Clear!
As is the nature of things, life continued to go askew as August rolled around. I had planned on staying in the mountains through the fall, but taking stock in how my body felt, I knew I needed to take a moment to take care of myself. An old knee injury had reared its ugly head halfway through the summer, and the stress and labor of this joyful job felt heavier than I could carry. So, I packed up my life once more and moved home again. Before settling back into life in Boston, Jeffrey and I took a few days and visited our friends in Seattle. He was supposed to come with me when I had traveled in January, but snowstorms had canceled his part of the trip. So we had points from the airline that we used to book a trip together. Quite a few of our friends from uni have moved to the city, and it was nice reconnecting with them and exploring things together. We went for walks, ate good food, and overall had a lovely time. I flew back to Indianapolis with him, and we got to enjoy more time together after being apart for most of the summer. I returned to Boston and started working at a coffee shop, which is what I'm up to now. I've always loved working in food service jobs, and there's been a lot of joy that's come from the people I've met there. I reopened my own shop and launched on my own domain, finally leaving Etsy behind. I've loved being able to have more creative control over my website, and I'm so appreciative of anyone who's taken time to look over my shop or ordered from it. I hope to keep growing my business into something that can support me through my future, but for now I'll keep my day job. Fall came to a slow close. We had Thanksgiving with my cousins in Maine. Typically my family has a huge Thanksgiving with all of our second cousins, but things felt different this year. So we kept it small.
Is it Happy Halloween?
Well, there's all kinds. There's like celebrate,
So many holidays.
Hanukkah, Valentine's. There you go.
Wow.
After, some close friends and I went up to Rangeley, Maine and enjoyed a weekend at our cabin. It was the off season and everything was quiet. It was just what I needed to reset before the colder months.
Oh my god.
Winter settled in. I went to Indiana for more time with Jeffrey again, and he flew with me back to Boston for the holidays. We closed the year in Maine, skiing, going for walks, and spending time with friends and family. My life has changed more in this last year than ever before. There was joy and grief. I made new friends and reconnected with old ones. I am so grateful for the people in my life, more so now than ever. They were there to remind me to celebrate the great moments and to hold me when I cried. I learned to romanticize my life, but also to hold space for mindfulness. I learned to be kinder to myself and others. 2022 was the hardest year of my life, and in all honesty, I am ready to move past it. But from it, I will take the moments of growth, the understanding of grief, and the honesty of joy. There was beauty and pain, and I grew a lot.
Thanks for catching up with me. I know it's been a long time since I posted anything on this channel, but I wanted to get back to it. Here's to 2023. May we all be kind to ourselves and others. I'm glad you joined me today. See you next time.